So we want to clean up the header and also finish the footer. Before we do that, let's expand the main layer group and name these two shape layers. I'll go ahead and call this star, and then we can come over and call this star 2. Next, you can collapse this layer group and expand the header layer group. We currently have this rectangle as a placeholder for the navigation system. We don't need it, so select that layer and click the trash can. Yes, we do want to delete that layer. Go ahead and click yes. Then come over and choose the type tool. With the type tool selected, you can click to get a blinking cursor and type in the first navigational element. And we're going to kind of do this in reverse order. It's really up to you in terms of how you want to do it. But I'm going to type in the last section first, and the last section is a map section. So I'll go ahead and type in map. Now, I'm not thrilled with the style, but if I select this, I can come over to the paragraph styles panel and I can choose subheading. Right now there's a little plus sign, which is an indicator there's an override, but let's go ahead and clear that override. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe you think it's too large, whatever, you can go ahead and change it. I'm also going to set this to a different color, maybe this darker gray color. So we have map. I think that looks okay. We want to duplicate it. Hold down the Alt key on Windows, Option on the Mac, click and drag to the right and hold down the Shift key. Now just above the map section is the team section. So go ahead and type in team. Once you type in team, you can press escape, then the V key on your keyboard, and again hold down the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac and the Shift key and drag this over to the right. Then press T to reactivate the type tool. And just above team, we have About Us. So type in About Us. I'll go ahead and capitalize U. Again, press escape on your keyboard, then V on your keyboard, then hold down the Alt key on your keyboard, Option on the Mac, click and drag to the right, hold down the Shift key. We're going to update About Us to read Welcome. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now, one thing that we definitely want to take care of is the location of this navigation system. Let's come back to the View menu, and from there you can choose Extras. You can see that we're just outside of our guides. Inside the header layer group, you can select all of the layers, press the V key on your keyboard, and nudge them into place. Now it's up to you to kind of manually move them around. I'll nudge Team over to the left a little bit so it fits nicely within this column. About Us is going to take up more space than something like Team. At this point, I think they're pretty evenly spaced. I just want them all a little bit closer to Welcome. So I think that looks good. You may also want to label Welcome Mission. It's really up to you in terms of what that label is, but we want Welcome to be pre-selected so the user knows that this is the active section within the site. In order for us to do that, we're going to drag a rectangle underneath Welcome, so make sure the About Us layer is selected. Come over and choose the rectangle tool. Maybe you want rounded corners on it. I'm just going to select the rounded rectangle tool. In terms of the fill color, I want to select this blue over here. So you can select it here, wherever you want to select it, it doesn't matter, but choose that blue fill color. Then just click and drag a rectangle around Welcome. And the Properties panel will immediately appear, and that's what it looks like. Maybe you want to flip this so we're not dealing with a fill color, but a stroke color. Let's take a look at that. Again, I'll choose that same blue color. 3 points is a little heavy. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 1. I'll tab away. I think that looks pretty good. Again, to get a better idea as to what it looks like, you can go to the View menu and turn off Extras so you don't see the guides. A little bit of an alignment problem, so that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and nudge this to the right a little bit. It will probably overhang the guides a tad, but I'm okay with that. So I think that looks pretty good. Finally, we want to come down to the footer, so let's collapse the header section, expand the footer section, select one of the layers there, then click and drag down, and I really want this footer to be a gray color, in fact, a darker gray color. So you can zoom out. Remember, the keyboard shortcut is Space Alt or Space Option on the Mac, and I want this gray color to fill up the entire space. So come over and choose the rectangle tool. I'm going to select a darker fill color for this. So in the top right-hand corner, you can click this button, which will open up the color picker. I'm going to click and drag this to the left. A little bit of blue in it is okay. Then click and drag a rectangle. And again, if you want to position it, press the V key on your keyboard and just nudge it around. And you want to make sure that this rectangle is underneath our Facebook icon. At that point, you could add some copyright information if it was necessary, but I think at this point, our mock-up is looking pretty good. We've really built out all the different sections, and the client can really get a good idea as to what this website will look like once we build it using HTML and CSS.